Welcome to Under the Sun podcast. I'm Ilea.
And I'm Irene. Grab a cup of coffee and your comfiest sweats and join us every Monday as two best friends discuss everything from raising free-range gremlins to business and really everything under the sun.
Let's get started, and thanks for being here.
Hi.
It's kind of fun on this side.
I kind of like it. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so we just did an interview. Oh, hi. Welcome to the podcast,
Welcome.
guys. We just did an interview with Nicole with Three Sprouts Holistic. And
It was incredible.
It was incredible. And we're going to do... I'm going to get on a tangent. I'm going to go back on track. But I didn't want to reset this to where we were on the opposite sides. So we're just going to do it like this podcast today where we're looking at each other like this and looking back and forth. Guys, we're just doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Also, we have fresh coffee.
Yes.
I'm dying of the plague.
Yeah. We had it last month and it lasted 2 weeks for everyone in our family. And it's one of those like, do I know anything about myself or health? Because we did all the minerals, all the supplements.
Yeah.
We were on binders. We were on dewormers, detox. Like I threw
It's
literally
a bioweapon probably from your U.S. government.
Everything in our cabinet. And it still took us 2 weeks to get rid of.
I have done, I've eaten garlic 3 times a day.
Yeah.
My own cough syrup, the honey and onions. And I've done oil of oregano. Everything I've double and triple my dosage. And it helps, but it's hanging on. I think it's definitely some type of bronchitis. It's something of the lung, but I think it's a bioweapon that was made.
Yeah.
Because natural sicknesses don't
last that long.
So if I cough a little, that's because I'm dead.
Well, it's okay.
But how are you?
Good. I thought it'd be fun too. So I have this rant that I always think about. I see this thing every time I go to work, every time I go anywhere almost. And I always think, I should call Ilea and tell her how annoyed I am with this sign. And I was like, no, I'll just do it on the podcast because instead of us going to get coffee, we'll just make some coffee.
Yeah, and you'll get my live reaction.
And basically
I'll probably
have
hate it too.
A friend vent session that you guys can just be a part of.
Yeah,
so
sometimes we
grab
learn.
your coffee.
Sometimes we just chat. And that's just who we are. Because who wants to just learn every single moment of every single day? Yeah. Sometimes you just want to listen to people have a regular conversation while you do the dishes or take a dump. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So on my drive, we'll just jump in. On my drive to work, there's the construction signs, they have the messages that are right lane closed a mile ahead or whatever. Would be fine if it said that. That's important information I need to know to drive my car.
Okay.
But ever since 2020, they put this sign up for construction and they left it there. And I see it every time you're driving down 24 into Peoria. We could take that out if we know. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Okay. I see it on my way to work every time. And it started saying things like, mask up. And I was like, that's annoying. And then it would just those little chips of it's irritating me. Don't tell me what to do. And then it'd be for the health of your family, stay home. And I'm like, I have to go to work. Don't tell me. So it's just they kept saying things. And now they always try to have clever little puns on Mother's Day. It's don't have us call your mother, buckle your seatbelt. And I'm like, now I want to take my seatbelt off. Stop telling me what to do. And it's something I need to work through because every day I see that sign and it doesn't matter what it says or how catchy or how corny, but I have feelings towards this inanimate object of rage. The other day,
person behind the sign.
Every once in a while, it's missing person alert. It'll give the car. I'm like, okay, that doesn't irritate me because someone's just looking for their family. But then the next day, it's don't test the luck of the Irish. Don't drink and drive, which is a great message. Don't drink and drive. But I'm like, don't tell me what to do. It's so that. Well, and I don't know what it said the other day. I was driving to work and I was like, that stupid sign. I'm going to call Ilea and yell.
You know what that probably the underlying emotion is probably that you're sick of outside sources trying to tell you how to live your life. It's just it's not the sign's fault.
Yeah.
It's just another we're just being inundated everywhere. It's medical field, diet, big food, big pharma, social media. Everybody's trying to tell us we're either doing good or not good. Yeah. And you need to either change. At some point it's just exhausting.
Well, even Click It or Ticket, when we started driving, that campaign came out really heavily. Yeah. And so I tell, we'd get in the car and whoever was driving would be like, click it or ticket, because the driver gets the ticket. I was like, I'm not getting a ticket because you're not putting your seatbelt on. But as an adult, I'm like, why are you giving me a ticket? It's my, like, if I don't want to put my seatbelt on, that's the risk that I'm choosing to take to fly through the windshield. It's my decision. But, you know, I don't know.
People smoke that
getting
will
cynical
also
now.
lead them to death. Like, why are we allowed smoking?
Yeah.
Pharmaceuticals that are overprescribed that people are still driving their cars on.
Yeah.
Yet you can't drive while you, like, after smoking a joint.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
there's a
But
lot
I don't
of...
know. One day we were driving. The whole family was driving. And it even said something. It was just like something basic, like, have a nice day. And I was like, I don't want to have a nice day. And Jake was like, you got to get over that sign. I'm like, no. Why is that sign there? There's no construction. Go away. It's so weird. It's like a weird...
I love that bothers you.
It bothers me so badly. And now you're going to see it every time you drive that way. It's just like,
You know what sign
have
on
a
that
great spring day. And I'm like, no, I don't want to now. You've ruined it.
Was that your cup?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Also, we're really close to the chicken coop, so sometimes you hear the rooster. So this is your blanket statement that sometimes you'll hear a rooster.
Yep.
Also, sometimes you'll hear cars driving by. Guys, we're doing our best, but because I can't help it. But on that same drive that you take, and I'm pretty sure it's not that far from the sign you're talking about, there's a church that has a sign that's like, God loves all lives. You should too, or something.
Oh, the
it's
sign's
like,
on this side of the river. By where that McDonald's used to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I've never seen it. I never really go that way because
you
I
go the roundabout way.
Yeah, because you're coming from, okay. So I never see it.
Every time. Unless it's a missing person, then I'm like, okay, I'll pay attention to that one. But carry on. But yeah, that sign is annoying too.
Well, and also just like, for when you're on a road, you're supposed to be paying attention to driving, not signage. So I think like marketing on roads is wrong.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't think billboards should be a thing. I don't think there should be any additional distractions. Like, so like, hey, if you don't want people to be on their phone, you don't want them to be like fussing with their radio. Like there shouldn't be
don't distract
random signs like at all depths and heights that are like catching our attention and distracting us. That's my personal opinion. But that sign bothers me. Then on the other side of the river, and it's like, well, yeah, duh.
You don't have to tell me that.
You don't have to tell me that. Also, like, we know you're basically waving a flag of like, we will post a black square and be woke and not follow biblical principles in a church. So that irks me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What other things get on your nerves?
Oh, you want me to keep going? I got lots.
Keep going.
Okay. Something that irks me, and tell me if you don't agree, is when people ask me, oh, where's your daughter? Is your husband babysitting? Is he babysitting?
It's like, no, that is his child.
No, like
He's watching his child.
He's watching his child. He is doing his parently duty.
Yeah.
Why is it not babysitting if I have her?
Yeah.
Like, no, we are just caring for the child that we have. He is not babysitting.
Yeah.
And also, like, I know I shouldn't say this, and I fully recognize, like, I worked the multiple jobs, and now I'm a stay-at-home mom and do the podcast, all the editing and stuff, and farm stuff. But it is so frustrating when, like, Dave does, like, one thing and makes a meal, and people are like, oh, my God.
Your husband made food.
He's so, oh, wow, what a good dad. And he is a good dad.
Yeah.
But, like, I just, and I'm not like I used to have feminist tendencies. I'm not, I don't have it anymore. Yeah. But like that irks me because I'm like, or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He does one thing and they're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like he's just doted over for doing these things. And I'm like, I literally do that 40,000 times a week.
Yep.
And like nobody ever high fives me. Not that I need their validation.
Right.
But I'm like, why does he get their validation? I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bitter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh.
What about you?
I had someone the other day. It was one of those mornings where the kids were fussy and it's either they're going to eat breakfast or I'm going to put makeup on and do my hair. And I just went to work because I'm like, oh, I have a long day and I have hair anyways. My hair's going to end up in a clip. So I got there and then my client midday was like, you look tired. Are you pregnant? You're pregnant. I know you're pregnant. And I was like, actually, I'm not. But thank you for telling me I look like a garbage can. But also, like, aren't we past the point of asking people if they're pregnant?
That's so rude.
It was. And then I started
How
my
did you
period the next
respond?
day. I was like, I don't know. We'll see. It's like, none of your business. But it's like, nope, I just didn't sleep. So it's just.
Who does that? I would only do that to someone really close to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and it wouldn't
Plus,
be like a, you're pregnant. It would be like, hey, like I would be like,
Yeah.
the sneaky
Yeah.
bit. Someone can't help to notice you're,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and it's not a sensitive issue because we're not like, both parties are not trying, but it's a sensitive issue because I'm like, knew my period was starting and I was getting in my hormonal feelings that I wasn't pregnant. I knew I was going to start either that day or the next day. And it's like, no, thanks for reminding me too. But I didn't say that, but it was just like, stop asking people that thing unless you're like best friends and like can get away with it.
Yeah. Not like a client.
Unless
you
you're
see,
like, I have a headache. I'm like, why do you have a headache? That's different.
yeah, but I think the next round you might know before everybody else. Like maybe it depends when it happens, but you'll probably just get a FaceTime call like, hey.
It's the first one, it's a surprise. Everyone has to be told in a magical way. And the second one, it's like, hey.
I've thought that because like I don't know if anybody else out there is like this. This is a side tangent. I am a chronic tester. So if you ever find a pregnancy test in my house, it's regular news around here because like something feels a little wonky and I'm like, pregnancy test. Like, and I track my cycle and I know.
Yeah.
I know I'm not pregnant.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was kind of surprised. I was like, don't you know exactly?
I do,
temperature,
but
everything?
I still have like, we have like 10 tests under there. We're not trying to get pregnant, just so we're all clear. I have like 10 tests in my bathroom underneath and I'm like, guys, like, listen, I'm a chronic tester.
That's so funny.
So I don't know where that was going,
Yeah,
but
so if you come over for dinner and there's a test in the trash, just ignore it. It's common Tuesday.
yeah. But I do want when we do decide to have another one, I'm going to try to make it as special because because I am a chronic tester. I don't ever film it anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whereas I did before.
Yeah.
Every time.
I didn't film either of mine.
Really?
No.
Do you regret that?
Yes.
Yeah.
But also at the time, I was like grouchy both times. So I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. And I was like, oh, probably should have filmed that. Oh, well, it's too late.
Yeah.
But
I want to though, like, because as the seventh child, I want to make sure there isn't any, that there's still specialness. Also, like, this is totally different. I want to like make things special again.
Yeah.
You know, like I have a friend who their family makes like special birthday plates of like happy birthday.
Yeah.
And then like if that kid has a plate every year that they pull out and gets to use their special plate.
I love
like,
that.
Just adding a little magic in like life of like basically just reiterating that like you're special and I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
You're not special in a like participation trophy, but like we value you as we're glad you're a part of the family and kind of like celebrate. Yeah. I want to start adding little things. So if your family does something super fun like that, just like little traditions or you do a daddy-daughter date every, whatever. I don't know. I just want to know because I want to like, I don't have that natural tendency to make things special.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Neither does Jacob. I'm like, what are we going to do for this? He's like, I don't know. It's a Tuesday. I'm like, yeah, but it's whatever day it is. But it took the kids, probably similar to Leo. It took us having kids to where he's like, what are we doing for Valentine's Day? I'm like, we don't do Valentine's Day. He's like, well, I want the kids to have something. I was like, oh, okay.
Which like, I think kid me would be like, that's so exciting. And I remember getting like the little hand clappers and having like I loved holidays because special things happened and it made it more exciting.
Yeah.
And at some point along the way, I just lost the excitement and I want to make sure she has that.
You don't have to be consumery to make it a big day, which there's like a fine line. But
yeah, I'm not talking about breaking the bank, but like, I don't know, just something. Just give us your tips for that. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right. What else irks you? Did you go or did I go?
I think I went last.
It irks me. So I use the Daisy. You use the Daisy as well.
Yeah.
And the Daisy is like a basal body temperature thermometer that you put under your tongue and you take your temperature and it tells you if you're fertile or not. Guys, it freaking works. Here's the problem though. They're kind of a woke brand. And I'm not going to return, like I bought it
like $300
I bought
thermometer.
It like probably like 7 years ago at this point. Like $300. So it's definitely held up to its value. But they're kind of a woke brand. And they shared the other day on Instagram that like some woman shared, she's like, every person with a period needs to have a Daisy. And I'm like, you mean a woman?
Yeah.
A woman needs a Daisy.
Yeah.
And they always say like birthing person. I'm like, I'm not a birthing person. You delusional.
Yeah.
moron.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
I am a
chest
woman.
feeding irritates me because
my
it is
God.
hard enough to nurse your kids. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of tears on all ends.
Yep.
And don't take that away from me.
Yeah.
So.
It's honestly, there's like a war on womanhood. Like, you know, people thought like, oh yeah, like the feminism is the most like empowering thing. It's like, great.
Well, they don't like that we're taking it back.
Yeah. It's like, okay, great. You can call me whatever name you want. Every name in the book, transphobic, blah, 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 all the things. But like, you cannot mansplain me into believing that your man nipples can nurse.
Yeah.
Like, you can't.
Yeah. It's like people get so up in arms about like men being so chauvinistic and they're taking over this. I'm like, what?
Why are you supporting them taking over sports then?
Well, that's the thing. It's like nothing is more derogatory towards a woman than a man saying, I can be a woman better than you.
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
Or
you
these
can't.
like dudes that
Like,
are
also, I would love to see a man handle puke-inducing period cramps, which are not normal, by the way. Check your hormones.
Yeah.
But like, I have laid out on the bathroom floor vomiting because my cramps were so bad. Guys can't handle that. They can't even get a paper cut without.
Yeah, great. You're really a
whining
woman.
about
Let's
it.
do the cramp simulator.
Oh, that'd
for
be great.
72 hours straight, no breaks.
Yeah.
See how you handle it then.
Yeah.
How womanly are you after that?
Yeah. That's a frustrating one.
Yeah. Well, there's also like, there's this ridiculous delusional guy who he goes to restaurants and he's like, it's ma'am. It's ma'am, or I go by they, them, or whatever. And it's clearly a dude.
Yeah.
Chiseled jawline. It's a bro. And he's like, it's Women's History Month, and if you're saying it's not for trans people, like, you are the problem. And it's like, no.
Like, stop taking over women. Have your own month. I don't care. Just don't take over don't take over the woman, because the woman is getting squashed.
Yeah.
And for women who are like, women's power, we're always crushed by the men, then stop letting them squash us.
Well, because like, here's the thing. Okay, we're gonna go on to well,
When
you agree with everything, you go for everything. Like you can't. When you stand for everything. Wait, when you stand for everything, what is it?
If
you stand for nothing, you fall for everything.
Yes,
that's what it is. And if you like this leftist propaganda, like, where's the cutting off point? Like, because, like, honestly, like, and I never used to think this, but it's a downward effect of how toxic things get.
Yeah.
And how just like crazy things they want you to agree with. It's like, no, friggin' Dylan Mulvaney is not a girl. He will never be a mother.
Yeah.
He is a dude who's had some surgery.
Yeah.
And no matter what, when they dig up his bones in 100 years, they're going to say that's a male. This is a male.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's ridiculous. So that's what frustrates me.
Yeah.
But what about you?
That's it. Mostly that sign. That sign.
You just want to do a whole podcast about that one outside?
I want to post a picture of it in the stories one day when it says something like, have a nice day. And I'm like, hashtag triggered. But also every time.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what I would call and tell you over a cup of coffee.
Okay. Yeah. I have so much more I could talk about.
Too.
Things that like.
But now I can't think of it. The signs in my brain.
Well, yeah, there's, I mean, I feel like all of mine kind of go towards the like social, political side, but let's see, which direction could I go? Let me think for a second.
When the grocery store rearranges their layout, that really irks me.
That does
I cannot
irk me.
Walmart walk when you rearrange my stuff. I need to know exactly where I'm going.
They want you to have
in,
to go through
get
every
out.
single aisle. Yeah.
Yeah. Our local store used to have a health market, and one side towards the front was like the vegetables, then the health market, then the rest of the store. And then they dispersed that health market into all the other aisles. So now like the chip aisle has like a little section that has like the healthier chips, and the cookie aisle has this. And I'm like, I don't want to go through all these aisles. I'm not going to buy it anyways. So people will buy more things.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. Now it just made those of us that care.
Well, because the rule of thumb was like, you shop the perimeter for healthier food. Like grocery store meat is not great, but the perimeter as the meat and the vegetables usually on the outside. So, but now they caught on. They're like, oh, people only go to the perimeter, and so now we need to mix it all in.
Yep. Man-made coughs irritate me.
You know what irritates me is that when I share things about chemtrails and them spraying things in the sky, that people are like, that's not a thing. People genuinely think it's not a thing. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you, like, it's not, because you haven't looked into it doesn't not make it real. Yeah. Because your head is so deep in the sand that you're not like, why is my sky checkered? Yeah. That's weird. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should look into this. It's like, yeah, they're spraying aluminum in the air. That's like,
yeah. Well, they're finding, you can't go anywhere because even in the Arctic, as the snow is melting, they're finding like those top few layers that melt and refreeze. They're finding jet fuel in the Arctic. Yeah. So it's you can't even there's no, I've never had a flight go over the Arctic, but there's just enough out there that it's floating through the atmosphere.
Another thing that irks me, I have a lot, is that people saying like, oh, I did this when I was a kid and I'm fine.
Things are different.
I had all my things as a kid and I'm fine. It's like, well, Susan.
They used to be live. It used to be a small version of that illness, diluted. And now had it's man-made.
You had maybe 8 in your whole life. There's like charts out there you can like do the research. Again, like don't just take our word for it. Do the research that you can do. Like back in the day, like my parents, your parents probably had 8 in their whole life spread out through their first 18 years. Yeah. Now it's like 72.
Which is unbelievable.
And it's just, and like the food, be like, oh yeah, I grew up eating Oreos, no problem. And it's like, okay, but like the dyes have gotten worse.
Yeah. Well, the melting ice cream thing.
Yeah.
I used to love Breyer's ice cream, and now that's one of the top ones that doesn't melt anymore. And that was like the expensive one when we splurged. And it used to be cream, milk, egg yolks, sugar. And now it's not. So it's like, yeah, it was great when I ate it as a kid, but now it's not.
Yeah.
Also, I don't remember, this is another kind of on topic, but side tangent. I don't remember the Kettle brand of chips ever having canola oil.
Yeah, they did. They've always
like from the beginning. Because I don't think 10 years ago when I like started 15, however long I've been semi-crunchy, I don't remember, I wouldn't have bought them, I don't think, if they had canola oil. Yeah. And then I just was looking at them recently because I was like, something's different. Or like, I get it. I never used to get a stomach ache if I eat them. And now like, I just feel gross. It's like, oh, it's potatoes and canola oil. Yeah. So I don't think they used to be. I think that's one where they bait and switch. That's something that irks me when a company bait and switches you. Yep. Because you get so used to it. And the next thing you know, the collagen that everyone was taking doesn't congeal anymore. Yeah. Because Jennifer Aniston got involved and now.
Yeah. And now it's just.
Now everything's garbage. Made.
Yeah. That's a huge problem.
But again, I would probably sell out if someone gave my family enough money to like start a farm and disappear. So what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. And you probably have like a clause in the contract. They probably have to have a clause in the contract to say like, you can't tell your whole audience that you sold out because like they're banking on them trusting your. Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah. So just read your ingredients
every time. It's like, I would say about like every third or fourth grocery trip, I reread the ingredients just to make sure. And I've caught like seed oils being snuck in there because that's something that like, because we do sourdough bread with Leo and she has had, her tummy she's been fine. Yeah. To what I can recognize. But like, if she has a whole bunch of chips, like she's super pissy. Yeah. Like the following days. And I'm like, all right, we're not doing these type of chips. And she loves like the little, like she does sourdough discard crackers. Really, and loves them. Yeah. So, and they're easy. It's just like, let's discard everything, bagel seasoning, oven, cut, done. Yeah. Yeah. But.
Well, like Canyon Bakehouse bread. There's a podcast. It was one of the old, like 12
they used to have like 4 ingredients.
It's like 12 years ago, Balanced Bites podcast. There was a whole podcast on like, what breads do you use for your sandwiches? And I remember them saying, oh, this is the only gluten-free bread that doesn't have canola oil. And every single one of their breads now have canola oil.
Because they all sell out. They all start out well-intentioned. And then you can't get around big food. Oh, I think I sent it to you. And I know nobody ever listens to anything I ever send them. But like.
I have good intentions. I'm like, oh, listen to that on my drive home. And then I forget.
Alex Clark had a guy on. Him and his sister wrote a book called Good Energy, which I'm going to buy and I'm going to read. Okay. Because she is a Stanford surgeon. Okay. Graduated, went through all the residency, everything, and then she said she was like in surgery cutting out someone's inflammation. And she said she had an out of body experience where she was like, this is like, I think it was a patient who, it was the second time she was cutting out the inflammation. And she was like, I had an out of body experience that like, why are they back here? What did they do to be back here less than a year later getting just the same amount of inflammation cut out? It's like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
She's like, we're not healing people. Then what am I doing?
Yeah.
And so she started asking questions and basically got like a whole bunch of got reprimanded for asking questions. And then she just left the medical field and started looking into her a nutrition class and all this stuff, because she went to Stanford and had 0 nutrition classes.
Yeah.
0. And she's a doctor. She was in school for like 12 freaking years, if not longer. So her and her brother wrote a book, and he worked in pharmaceutical lobbying. Okay. And so he thought he was helping people too. And both of them basically just were like, wait a minute, this is all a lie. What's going on? And so like she has a 2.5-hour podcast with this guy, and it is so freaking eye-opening, because he explains like, what is lobbying for pharmaceuticals? Yeah. Like what happens? Like who actually, like how do they get the FDA to say like, this is FDA approved? Yeah. How does that happen? Because like, that's all the questions I have. It's like
money is how they do it.
And like, I got in an argument with someone on Facebook in a Facebook group, a non-toxic Facebook group, and which is very toxic. Yeah. The non-toxic groups
they're
are
awful.
So toxic. So I left them all because I'm like, this isn't helpful.
Fighting is never helpful.
I will though, if like a mom is pregnant and she's like, hey, they're recommending that I get this. And like, should I get it? I will immediately be like, here's the reasons why you shouldn't.
Yeah. But the difference is she's asking. No one's just like unsolicitedly.
Well, then like people come against me and they're like, here's this peer-reviewed study. I'm like, you should look into.
In a non-toxic group?
Yes. And a lot of people are like, I work in the medical field and we would never
gaslight
anybody. Oh my gosh, you're so mean. I'm like, yeah, I am. I was in the medical field and I saw it daily. Yeah. But I kind of want to do an episode. Let me know if this is something you guys would be interested in, because like this is something I nerd out about. But if you look into like, it's peer reviewed, if you go into the doctors of who is this peer reviewed study, who hired them, their background, criminal history, current lawsuits, like just general funding, like it's very telling why they're there, and their like working history. A lot of the times they aren't allowed to work at hospitals anymore, and so they're put on a peer reviewed study. Yeah. Or peer reviewed.
Also, if you're just talking about like words and not getting deeper, doesn't peer, I mean, the definition of peer is friend. You're typically going to have friends that think the same as you. So if you go around asking all of your friends, they're going to have the same answers. Go ask people that are polar opposite of you.
So there was I did the last birth I ever did in a hospital, and I'm never doing like filming in a hospital again. Yeah. The doctor, he was like he was screaming at us to not film. All of his nurses were screaming at us to not film. And he like came up to me after and he was like, sorry girls, I just can't have you film in case of litigation. And I was like, that's pretty telling. And he's like, yeah, well, one of my colleagues lost his license because, sorry, I'll stop doing the voice. He's like, hey, but that is seriously his voice. Yeah. He's like, one of my colleagues lost his license because his jury was not doctors, and it looked like, medical abuse to a patient.
The jury shouldn't be doctors. Huh? The jury shouldn't be doctors.
No, it shouldn't be doctors, because they're going to look out for their buddy, because they know their ass is going to be on the line someday. Yep. And like, if it's a whole bunch of OBs, like, yeah, that's just the standard practice of care. Okay, sometimes the standard practice of care is abusive. Yeah. Like, it really is. Yeah. So that, when you talk about peer-reviewed studies, like he was mad that the guy's jury wasn't other doctors, and it's like, no, and that's why I kept filming. So yeah, and now I don't do hospital births anymore. Everybody run away. Yeah. I'm sure there are good doctors, but you just don't know. Yeah, like you don't know until
you have to like be in the underground to find them.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of research. Yeah. Anyways, okay, what else? One final irk?
Let me think. I know I've got them. That's it though. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, because I drove past that sign and then I texted Ilea and I was like, let's do this.
Yeah. Well, mine is like, God bless my neighbor. He's a farmer.
Unsolicited advice.
He's a farmer. Not farmer. He's a ophthalmologist, but he has been gardening since he was like 9, and that's great. But in the last, probably 50 years, there's a certain thing called Roundup that came out, and he puts Roundup on everything, and he keeps trying to share his vegetables with us, which is such a gracious thing. But like, I put them immediately in the trash because I'm not giving Roundup directly to my child. Like,
if it's literally sprayed on it.
It is the only reason why we live in this house. Like, it is not for the faint of heart. Like, trying to grow your own food is hard.
Yeah.
Like, having chickens is not, it's not fun. I don't really like birds. I don't want to have to butcher them. Like, this is not fun, but I'm doing it because like, it is what I feel like God is calling me to serve my family right now.
Yeah.
But he keeps and he keeps criticizing like underhandedly, like, the old people do. They're like, oh, I see you have a bunch of weeds. Are you not going to take care of them? It's like
it's not your yard.
Or like,
go away.
I see you're mulching with straw. That's interesting. And I'm like, you're really nice, but I could punch you in the throat because like
people can do things differently than you. It's okay.
I'm trying, like, and I'm okay. Like, I fully recognize I'm gonna biff it on so many fronts. I already have in the gardening. I feel like there's just so much to learn. Yeah. This is a new area for me. I'm not like, I'm first generation. Well, I guess my grandma was a gardener, but like, I missed all that. Like, so I fully recognize that I'm going to fail, and I'm gonna take that with stride. But like, I'm not like, I would rather quit and not garden at all than spray Roundup. He's like, oh, you'll end up spraying some of your yard. I was like, I would literally rather sell this house and move to an apartment. Like, I'm not spraying my house. Anyways, so that's what irks me.
Yeah. I love it.
You don't have to poke this bear too much to get my thoughts. But
it's like, I've got a lot of irks right now. I can't think of any, but we took this personality test thing a few years ago with our friend Dean, who has been on the podcast before. And my baseline is harmonizer, which is like, just wants everyone to be happy and just live in harmony and everything be great and everything be beautiful. And then when we were doing the sit down, he was explaining each type. He was saying, do you get mad a lot? And I said, no, not really. And he said, why? And I didn't even have to think about it. I said, because nice people don't get mad. So like, it's buried deep in my bones, and that's probably why my guts are not great. But it's like there's a lot of things that irk me, but I'm like, no, that's not polite to say. But then it's like, as I've gotten older, I'm like phasing out of that. So things irk me, but I still have that like baseline of like, nope, keep it to yourself. Except for that sign. If that sign ever goes boiling up in this sign. That's I do laugh, because I'm like, what a weird boiling point to have. Like a construction sign. And that's where it's like the straw that broke this camel's back.
I'm going to get a little construction, like a tiny LED construction
light. Like, have a beautiful day. Like, no, I don't want a beautiful day.
I just coughed at you and laughed. Sorry.
It's okay. This one's like a minor. It doesn't actually irk me, but like, chemicals in the hair world have changed. So a million years ago, when they were pouring, not really, but like figuratively speaking, they're pouring straight acids onto your scalp. It helped if you had a baseline of oil and product to like protect your skin a little from it, like burrow, it's a couple more layers for it to like burrow down into your noggin. Things are more gentle now. They're still chemical, but some of them are cleaner, and I tend to use as clean of products as I can that still work. But you don't need to have dirty hair, oily hair, greasy hair. And if you have like colored root powders and dry shampoo, and you come in and I don't care if you haven't washed your hair in 6 days, if I'm cutting your hair, because I'm going to wash it. If it's color, I also don't care. The color will still go through it, but you're not going to get like as accurate of a color. If you're on like day 2 hair, that's fine. But if you're on day 3, 4, 5, 6, you've got dry shampoo layered in there. You've got the root powders in there. It's not gonna cover 100% of your grays. It's not a big irk, but it's like, go to your hair appointments clean if you can, or at least second day. No root powders. No.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So
poor you. You always get the grossest part of me.
Like, but you don't really color your hair anymore.
I keep going back and forth. I'm like,
don't ask me. I'm going to talk you right into it.
I like want to see, because I haven't seen it since I met you. It's been like 15, how long? 15
years.
Yeah. So I just want to see how it goes. Yeah. But also like, I just miss that, like the fun, like, oh, a fun new color. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll go in with it clean.
Huh?
I said, go in with it clean.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I thought about like maybe like a transition. Like, is there a huge difference between like my original hair, my new hair that's like growing out, and then the color?
Yeah.
Like, is there a hard line that other people would notice, or just you?
It's not a hard line. It's kind of diffused, but when it's, because what day this is, you've got a little grease in there or tallow. Is it grease?
Tallow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to be excited for you, but
no, I don't produce
with
any
it
grease.
being like greasier, I can see more, but when it's not, when you don't have it like pulled back in tallow, you can't really tell. It's a good fade out.
Can I side tangent?
Yeah.
Because you said something and it unlocked like a thing I was recognizing, but like wasn't really putting together. These color analysis that are going around of like knowing your colors, whatever. Some people look worse in their color.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, why are you wearing that color? It does not look good.
But I wonder if it's like people, I can do that. They take one online e-course from somebody who probably doesn't know how to teach it, and then they just assume they know it.
But there are people who are large podcasters who have like put a video out of them being colored, like doing their color thing, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is it like a Laurel Yanni striped dress?
Oh, like
thing?
everyone's eye sees it a little differently, maybe.
Because like I'm like, you don't look good in that color.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
like wearing pink with red hair, but you do.
I don't.
It's Barbara Jean.
Yeah. Yeah. That you're just saying that like when she was saying like Reva's so confident that she wears pink. Like, yeah. Also, wait, did I talk about this already? What? For my birthday, Irene got me the best gift ever. You're such a good gift giver.
Oh, thanks.
I want to be more like you. She had, you didn't make the robe, but like there's a robe that she embroidered and it says tangerine. And if you ever watch Reba, the show, it means get out. And so she put tangerine with little tangerines, and I'll post it in our Instagram story.
As a mother, you're never alone in the bathroom. Just get out. I just want to take a shower.
And then I was sent you a selfie of me drinking tea in the bathroom in my tangerine robe, great. Saying I'm hiding in the bathroom because my husband's putting Leo to sleep and she's crying for mom, but I won't. Like they need to learn how to.
Yeah. Oh, I've resorted at this phase of motherhood to eating ice cream in the bathroom. So it's like, I don't want to share it with you. Yeah. And now they're old enough I can lock the door and not worry they're going to like, I don't know, pull a shelf on their head or something. Yeah. So it's like I'll put it in. I have to put it in like a coffee cup so it's not see-through or a bowl or that they can see in easily. And then I'll just like, I gotta go potty, bye. And I'll go sit in the bathroom, eat some ice cream. Mom, are you done yet? No, I'm not.
No, yeah. It's nice.
Great. It's great. Also, the entirety of Reba is now on Netflix. You don't have Netflix. I don't have Netflix, but I hate that.
It's all on
Here's an irk.
Hulu.
We went from paying $160 a month to have cable, not years ago. You got all the channels, you got all the networks. Then everyone started $9.99. It's like, okay, great. We'll do $9.99 for Netflix. It has everything. Then everybody started branching off. And now we're paying, not us, but like people are paying $160 a month for $20 Hulu, $20 Netflix. Because now it's not $9.99. It's $20 because I don't want ads.
Yep.
And I will always pay for no ads, so they're going to get me every time. It's like, guys, just... But apparently someone said they're making one network, and then now there's a bunch of jokes out there that it is basically...
It's cable. It's cable again.
Except it's on demand. But But it's like... That irks me, because I have like... Netflix had The Office. Doesn't have The Office anymore. Now it has Reba, but then Peacock has Psych and The Office. And then Hulu has all the stuff I'm week to week on. And then Discovery has... Homestead Rescue and No Demo Reno, like all the shows. And I'm like, guys, I don't want to. So what I just do it in blocks. Yeah. At least I don't make you sign your contracts, but I'll do like 3 months of Discovery Plus. I'll binge everything I need to watch and then cancel that. And then now we just have YouTube, but on YouTube Premium, is that what it's called? YouTube Premium, we've added Paramount. So now we're just going through all the Paramount shows I want to watch. And then, that irks me that I have to. Like all my shows are on different networks. Shouldn't be watching that much TV, but you know. What else? I hate the dishes. I would rather do anything in the world other than dishes. So if I'm going to do the dishes, I'm going to be watching television.
Besides the fact that I've been sick all week and like you must be sick when you're actually sitting down just watching, like relaxing, like trying to relax because you're hacking so hard. Yeah. Like to like recoup on the ground. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't remember the last time I spent all day in bed, and I did that Monday. Yeah. like I got up to basically get Leo food, read a book to her, like, but otherwise I was like leveled all day.
Yep.
But all that to say, like, it besides chores, like having shows on in the background, most of the time it's YouTube. I'm watching something like educational or podcast or something. But we just pay for Peacock right now because I was listening to the Office Ladies podcast in like episode by episode with them.
Yeah.
And then somehow we got off because we fell asleep, and no, I'm just gonna cancel it. But I'm like, that's the only thing we pay for.
Yeah.
Because like we went through. You know what irks me is that like they get to you though. Yeah. You're like, oh, $10.99 here. Oh, that's fine. $10.99 here. $12.99 here. And then I scrubbed through our finances like 6 months ago, and I cut out like $150, $160 worth of stuff. And I'm like,
you just forget. Or like, oh, I'll do the free trial and I'll cancel it. And then you never cancel it.
Yeah. But what's hilarious, it's not hilarious, but what irks me is like I will gladly be like, oh yeah, $10.99 for a subscription. Like, and then you pay for it like for a year and you barely ever use it. But yet like if we needed a thing that was like $10, like I would hesitate to buy the thing. And I'm like, no, why am I so okay with being like, yes, this TV show that really adds no value to my life besides giving me a dopamine hit. Yeah. Why am I justifying this over like spending the $10 extra to get a better, non-toxic cup for my kid?
Yeah.
Like
I've thought about that with like the minerals. I'm like, oh, I could use some new minerals, and all the ones I'm looking at around 40 to 60. Yeah. And I'm like, 40 to 60, I'll just put some sea salt in it, which is great, but it's not the wide range of things you need. But I would easily pay 60 for other stuff. So it's weird. It's weird the things we like justifies being okay. It's like, well, I gotta have commercial free YouTube, but I do.
Okay, but my last irk is when people are like it's expensive to eat. It is expensive to eat, especially right now. Like freaking things are expensive. I don't know how people are going to like Chick-fil-A and out to eat every like couple times a week. I don't understand how people are doing it.
I don't understand how people do it with families, but there have been a few days at a work day where my work is really close to a grocery store. Yeah. And if I go in the grocery store, I'm going to come out spending like $40 every time on just me. And most of the time it's like not great food. And yes, it's more than one meal, but it's not really more than one meal because I'll go in and buy like sandwich stuff. And then I eat that in like 2 or 3 days at work. Yeah. And the price of it, where I went, there's a restaurant by me that has like these chicken tacos, and I don't know what happens, but like it's probably still full of seed oils because it's a restaurant, but it's like these chicken tacos with lime, and I always eat that and I feel like just energized. Okay. Like immediately. It's so weird. And they're like $13 or $14. But I'm like, well, $13 or $14 once is cheaper than $40 for 2 days worth of food. So it's weird. But when it comes to feeding my family when I'm not at work,
is it actually only cheaper. 2 days of food for lunch meat and bread? Usually, because I'll get it's like $7.99 for the bread, $7.99 for the cheese, and well, if you're not doing all the extra like additives, you can eat a $7.99 pack of meat in one sitting. Yeah. So that's what I thought about that this week when I was like, I'm gonna go get those tacos. I was like, no, I'll be responsible and go to the grocery store. I spent $35. But when I'm there, you're at the grocery store and you're hungry, and there were Poppies that were 2 for $6, and the next thing you know, $40 later, it was gone in 2 days. So it's like, I should have just got those tacos. I would have spent $13 and not. Yeah. But that's me by myself. Yeah. But like there are some families that
time, like, it's like, good night. We can't go without spending less than 60 for the 4 of us.
We went to Chick-fil-A like a month and a half ago, and it was $50 for us to get basic stuff like a 12-count grilled nugget, Dave's sandwich, and all stuff with drinks and stuff. And then Leo's old enough to where she actually needs her own bowl. Yeah. I'm like, this isn't worth it. Like, if we spent $50 on groceries at Costco, we could get like 10, 12 meals. Because I figured it out now. We should okay, but now we're just rambling. But like, I need to post like a shopping guide or something, because like you can do it cheaper. Like I have now mapped out like, okay, we can have spaghetti with grass-fed meat for like $3.49 a person. Yeah. Or something, or chili. You just have to plan ahead. Yeah. And I know it sounds so annoying. I know. Yeah. But like these people were like, oh yeah, I'm like, money is so tight. I'm like, why are you going out drinking? Yeah. Why are you going to restaurants all the time? Great, money's tight. Make better decisions. Yeah. Yeah. Like money is tight for everybody right now. Like, thank you, Biden. But like, yeah, it's so, that irks me. Yeah. Yeah. Find me a way to not have to microwave food. Because if I make stuff at home like spaghetti or... Would you like to take the thingy? Huh? Would you like to borrow the I can't think what it's
I
called.
don't know what you're
the thing on
talking
top of the
about.
fridge that someone gave us. The okay, frick. We'll talk about this
I've
off
got
air.
nothing.
It's the it's not the Instapot. It's like the Ninja
Air fryer?
air fryer.
Do I want to take an air fryer all the way to work?
All the way to work.
No, I'm saying for work. I need a way to not work because I've been working like 8, 9, 10 hour days. And
Just to take food you don't need to warm up.
the only thing I can think of is lunch meat because my brain cells are gone.
Hard-boiled egg,
Or salads,
lunch
but
meat,
then
salad.
they are laborious.
Let me work you up a meal plan of like things that don't need microwaved.
Okay.
And then like we can go to Costco.
Because I'll make batches of spaghetti. And then that's great because then Jacob and the kids have food at home and then I go to work and I eat chips or nothing. So
that's not good.
it's not great.
Not
My
great.
tank is empty.
We'll refill that. Okay, now
Or I go to
wow.
work and I microwave food. I'm like, all right.
Guys, this has been rambly.
Yeah, I was just
long
smirking when
is
you
it?
were talking because our 20-minute podcast
Shut
is now
up!
47 minutes in.
Gosh, we can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we're gonna
And
go.
it's silent and we've had coffee and we love our kids, but no one's poking at us.
You know, if you have kids, you know, love them with our whole hearts. but
Yes.
we're gonna take a couple 5 minutes to ourselves and then just go back to life. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for being with us today. Follow us on Instagram at @underthesun_podcast. We'd love to meet you. Please help us out by subscribing on YouTube and leaving a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time. Please remember this information is made available to you for informational and educational purposes only. It is in no way a substitute for medical advice.